Now we're live. So if you guys want to go to our Facebook page, share it, that would be excellent.
All right. That's what I'm doing right now.
Go ahead, have fun. I'll do my thing.
Hello, universe. Welcome to Off the Rails with Tom and Mark. This is gonna be Off the Rails.
All right, welcome back, universe, to Off the Rails podcast with Tom and William now. Hey, episode 39, our first ever 39th episode. And if you're looking to, we're brought to you by the Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty Mobile Command Center today. And if you're looking to buy or sell a home, or maybe interested in a career in real estate, email Roy at cbhsr.com. or give them a call, 414-235-0763. Nicest guy in the world. He'd love to be your go-to for all your real estate needs. And welcome, Mike and William. This week, we're gonna make some changes to the podcast. We have William Krolowitz is taking over the workload for Mark. Mark will still be around from time to time. He keeps crapping out kids, and he got very, very busy. So after 3 years of podcasting, it's a little different than when we first started. And Mike, you said you wanted to be a rotating co-host in the mix to come play with this mess.
Gonna see if I can hang with you guys.
Oh, you're going to have a good time. We're going to have a special guest popping in later, Christine Hazel Decker. Since we love to drop people in the deep end, I figure why not put Christine on? You'll meet her. You'll understand that this is the deep end with Christine. But first, you know what? Let's do this. And since my sound isn't working again, we'll just...
It's working. You just don't have your microphone in.
Okay, but I hit the wrong button.
It's the hot seat!
Oh, boy.
Wow, yeah! It's the hot seat! Hot seat! The hot seat with Tom and Mark! Off the rails!
All right. We're on the hot seat. You know what I should have did first, so I'm going to make that the first question. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself there, Michael Howarth?
Sure. Let's see. I live pretty close to the studio. I'm from Port Washington, Wisconsin. Former stand-up comic, unsuccessfully at that. Besides that, really not a lot about me. I'm not that interesting of a person, but I'm going to try and see if I can contribute what I can.
You are from Port Washington. You ever get stabbed by Screech on Christmas in a bar?
I was there actually the night before. I was kind of hoping for a pre-stabbing, but that didn't happen. So, but I missed that one. That was a real big disappointment in my life.
Yeah, well, you were one of the few that got away from the knife of Screech.
Well, you see his house is for sale now, right? As long as we're talking about Screech. Man, that's it's not too far from my house, but that place is, it is a dump.
Did you see how? Oh, it's creepy in there.
Yeah, there was a water leak and all this other stuff, and he's, I don't know. And then he's like years behind on his mortgage, and he has no idea why because he never paid it. So,
well, all right, that's where Screech lives. 5 minutes from this guy. How do you feel about men wearing skinny jeans?
I'm gonna have to say that's a hard no.
Hard no for you?
Hard no, and a pass.
Oh, I build up too much swamp ass. I tried wearing them once.
I think it's counterintuitive for reproduction. You know, that's what I mean. Yeah. It cuts off a lot of circulation.
William, come on, you got to own at least a pair of 70s.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's a beta male outfit. I can't wear it.
You don't like the Samity Sam look?
No. Well, look, trust me. I put on a lot of weight. There's no way I'm getting into skinny jeans.
Hey, we'll get some butter.
Nah, not gonna happen.
We'll get you in some.
Not gonna happen.
I think skinny jeans go along with affliction T-shirts, don't they? And are they kind of like hand in hand?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or a band you never saw T-shirt.
Yeah. There you go.
So William, I know.
My skinny jeans.
Oh yeah, that's your Samity Sam.
That feels like it was a pointed attack.
William, I know you have kids. Mike, I'm not sure about you, but when is the appropriate time to stop telling your baby's age in months?
I think 24 months. I think when you get to 2, I think then you just go 2.5, 2 3/4 or whatever. Just 2 and then 3. 24 months, I think, is a good indication.
Well, for clothes, there's a lot of growing between 18 and 24 months, so you may get a different T on it or something.
Right.
No, I just heard somebody say that their kid was 36 months, and I'm like,
yeah, I think
wait
that's
a minute,
bit much.
your kid's 3.
Yeah.
And they're probably still breastfeeding if someone's saying that they're 36 months old. So
Probably.
Oh well, my oldest son, 27 months on the breast.
27 months.
27, and every girlfriend he's had now, they all have huge breasts. I don't know if there's a correlation, but it's just a fact. It's just a fact. And the only reason we were able to get him off because we had another one on the way, and it's like that's it. No more breastfeeding. She's growing another baby.
I had a cousin that went like 4 years with one of her children.
My
sister, like, that's weird. I'm like, that's weird. I don't know.
No, I
think
can
he's talking, he's walking.
Yeah.
That was when we were at your family reunion where I first met Molly's cousin. Like this little redheaded boy, about 4, look, maybe 5 years old. Molly's cousin has like the floor. We're all talking in a circle, and she just whipped it out and latched his head on and
at
kept
family
talking.
Reunion.
I don't mind that. It's just
Tom looked at me and was like, "Oh, how am I supposed to? What help?
No, I'd have to say, go ahead.
Was this the first time you had met this person? Hopefully,
yes, yes. This was the first introduction to that whole side of her family.
Man, you're scarred for life.
And then my response to Molly was, "Your cousin has nice titties."
They don't have to whip out the titty. I mean, like my ex-wife and my sisters, who are very religious, they breastfeed in front of you. You don't even realize it. They put a little towel over their shoulder, stick the baby under the towel, where you don't even notice it. So I mean, like they're looking for a little attention. Oh, I'm whipping out my titty. I'm making a statement. But if you put a little towel over your shoulder, look, I said it had to come to a stop because for Thanksgiving, we all got together and my sisters and my ex-wife were all breastfeeding in the den. And I walked down and I saw something disturbing. They had switched babies. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. It's like, this has got to stop. They were giggling. They thought it was cute. Yeah, the baby don't care, They thought it was cute. It's like, no, that's not right.
Is that like switching from like Miller Lite to Busch Light? Is there a different taste between the two?
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there is.
I'll be the judge.
I mean, were the babies just in shock? I mean,
Well, my nephew who was breastfeeding on my wife at the time, it pissed me off because he was about 4 or 5. And I swear, I think that little bastard winked at me. And I was like, this has got to stop.
Oh, okay. Welcome, Christine.
Hey, that doorbell.
How's it going? All right, Christine, we're doing some hot seat questions first before we get into everything we talked about the other day.
Okay. What's the question?
All right, this question is going to be: is thumbs up the universal sign at the end of a Facebook conversation that I'm done talking to you?
Okay, so in my experience, the only time I use the thumb, the thumbs up, is when I'm being hit on by a guy and I'm trying to explain to him that I'm not interested, and they keep going. It's the only thing I'll send them is a thumbs up after every message they
So
send.
that means you want to end that conversation.
Yeah, I call it the lesbian thumbs up of death.
Excellent. Christine, this is Michael and William, from doing stand-up with them.
Christine.
Hi, Michael. Hi, William.
Hi.
Is there any way you could give us like a 1-paragraph rundown of who you are? I want to preface this with she is the most famous person in the history of the internet.
So they say, or one of. So my name is Christine Hazel. Most people around the world know me as the guy who has 100 orgasms a day, which there was a media story ran and it went like uber viral, like you can't even imagine. Through that journey with that disorder, I've come to accept who I truly am. 4 years ago, I started my transition. It's going fairly well so far. I can't lie. Hormones are amazing. They do ridiculous things to a human body. And now I've published my autobiography, which is called Stripped When Dignity Disappears, available on Amazon. I also do stand-up comedy, and I deliver food once in a while on the side.
All right. All right, Christine, I got this question specifically for you because I want to know if you're a liar.
Okay.
I know you have done a lot of work with the Green Bay Packers. Did you used to raise the roof? Seriously?
Never.
Oh, you're so full of shit. That was the biggest thing going for how long?
I have never raised the roof in my whole life. In fact, I'm a diehard Packer fan down in my DNA. I don't even do the Go Pack Go chant.
Wow. All right. I'll believe you, but I think you at least raised the roof once or twice.
Maybe when I was drunk at a
How
party.
could you not? I think everyone has.
Yeah, when the Packers were raising the roof, when Reggie did it, you didn't want to do it back to him?
No, I was too busy watching Terrell Buckley.
Okay. All right. So Christine's never raised a roof. She's the only person in Wisconsin who didn't.
Maybe when I was drunk at a party once, but never during a Packer game.
All right. What's the best actor casted for a superhero, like a Marvel role? Who fit that role perfectly?
Is that for me?
That's for everybody. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, that's for me. It's fairly simple. In a movie or a TV show? Well, okay. So it was in a movie too, so I have to go with Bill Bixby / Lou Ferrigno as the Incredible Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Bill Bixby mastered the character. Lou Ferrigno was perfect for the role of the Hulk. You couldn't have picked a better person to do that role. And together, they put on 4 or 5 seasons of one of the most amazing shows that was ever on TV.
Okay. I'm going with Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I think he nailed that character.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. He did.
That one. So was he better than Robert Downey Jr.?
Yes. No. I think he's probably my favorite. He was one of mine.
Such conviction to totally backpedal in a quarter second.
I was on a train of thought where I was going to say Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. It's between him and Wolverine. Hugh Jackman.
Oh, Hugh Jackman.
For me.
Yeah, but what about the old guys? What about like William Catt as the greatest American hero? I mean, that could be one of the possibly the best castings ever.
Dude, that was one of my
he fit the role perfectly.
We got
Michael Keaton Batman.
Michael Keaton Batman was good. Christopher Reeves as Superman, I think he was perfect for that.
Oh, my mom is yumming over
Chris Hemsworth.
I
think for Thor.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Hi,
Joe says Michael Keaton for Batman.
Hey, and speaking of that, happy one day belated 50th anniversary to my parents. Holy crap.
Oh, congratulations.
Ooh.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Ma, if you're watching, how do you get to 50 years with a guy? Do you just both agree that you have peaked? We're just going to hang on till death?
You know how dirty your mom can be? You really want her answer?
Yes. Yeah, let's get another question in here. Is it okay to eat a slice of pizza out of the box before you get it home to everyone?
Yes.
That's coming from a door delivery
Yes.
person. You get
I would say no.
you lose the integrity of the heat of the box.
Exactly.
Well, okay, but you're the one who had to go get it.
You knew you were getting that answer, Tom. Sorry.
Oh, Ma.
You
Yeah.
asked for it.
Whew,
What, what did she say? I missed the.
You knew that was coming.
I missed the
She said
message.
great sex.
Oh, that's it. Oh.
That's the key.
You just keep it down in there, lady.
Well, back to the pizza. Back to the pizza question. It depends if it's the shape. It depends on the shape of the pizza. I think that is a serious consideration when you think if you can have a slice or not. If it's square and you're a corner guy, of course you got to have a slice before you get home because it's going to be gone right away. But if it's round, I think that is inappropriate. So there's I added an extra layer of discretion when deciding this one.
So, well, do you prefer square or slices?
Ooh, well, if it's Rockies, then it's square. Rockies is probably the best pizza in my opinion.
Rocky
Yes!
Rococo?
So
Rocky Rococo
Yeah.
is the best pizza on the planet.
It's
I
a
agree.
hot square
Oh.
of garbage, is Rocky Rococo.
Oh,
Yes.
them's fighting words.
So just also before you get the pizza home, you also have to take in consideration it's going to be hot out of the oven, and you're going to be driving. You're going to burn the roof of your mouth while you're driving. I prefer to just wait till I get it
Oh, you
home.
get the cheese slip?
The cheese slip, right?
You just whine
that's
about
a risk
your
I'm willing to take.
Right?
All right.
I earned if I go get it, I earned that piece.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got a stat sent to me. 100,000 plus Americans die per year with a cheese slip driving.
That does not sound right.
Yeah, I didn't say where I got it. I just said I might have made it up.
Oh.
Let's get that fact.
No, I mean,
checked.
like if you go to a party with
Right.
a cake, are you going to bring it with a piece taken out of it? Are you going to take a piece of pie before you get it somewhere? I mean,
Oh,
the
hell
whole
yeah.
thing should get there.
See, but
Because
how
you
about,
eat yours and then give it up. And
how about
they can
this? I used to
whatever
have
they want.
Christine, I don't want you delivering any food to me. Honestly.
yeah, I used to have an uncle. I used to have an uncle that would show up at our house, and you know how you bring beer or wine or something to a party. Well, he used to show up at our house every summer with a 6-pack with 3 already gone. So he was definitely would take a piece of the cake, a piece of the pie, but he would usually show up with 3 beers, and that was his contribution. And so that could apply to that as well. So was he being rude, or was he just being cursed and drinking his own beer? I don't know, but
Here you go, guys. Everybody get schnickered. You got 3 beers.
Enjoy.
yeah.
Oh, the issues we face here in America today.
Oh yeah, and we are going to get into some fun topic, but I'll give you one last one here. I thought was kind of a fun thing. This came up in a story. Would it be okay for airlines to charge you based on weight and fuel consumption instead of a standard ticket price?
I think it would probably be better.
Molly would get a deal. I'd be buried.
I mean, that opens up a whole can of worms because then you start getting into discrimination against fat people and large people and people who have to fly with more things than other people.
Yeah. Also,
And
the
like-
luggage, the weight of your luggage, what you're traveling with, will come into play. No, I don't think it's a good idea.
I mean,
I don't think it's good.
it's a good idea for skinny people.
Yeah.
Well, then you put 2 skinny people in one seat.
Oh
Could you-
yeah. It's gonna have to
Yeah,
be
you got to
bench.
charge for the seats too, for the space.
Lambo
You take
bleacher
up.
seat. Squeeze as many people in as you can.
Well, that's kind of what they do now, anyways, huh?
Yeah, that's
Isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're going back to the pizza. Joe says the best pizza in the state used to be called Maria's. There's still the best pizza in the state. It's called Maria's, and it's in Milwaukee.
Yep.
Really?
51st and Forest Homes. They don't open till 4. They only take cash, and they close at 9.
Tom, you know way too much about that pizzeria, man.
You
Jim
walk
says
in, and it's like,
price should be based on the weight of the passenger. I
So
think that's
you have
fair.
a luggage scale as well. So weigh your luggage and weigh yourself.
On the
That's
same
right.
scale.
Got 67 cents per pound times 347 pounds.
what if you're just short on cash at the airport, and you're like, I have to go purge real quick. I need to drop like 3 pounds. Do you have a puke stall for me so I can get on this plane? I only brought $180.
No.
Could you imagine the
No.
lines for the bathroom?
Yeah, they got a little
at the
5-gallon
airport?
bucket next to the ticket counter.
I had your airplane food, and you owe me $5 after the plane ride. So I hurled my ass off.
Well, they still keeping the middle seats open, like for distancing purposes.
I have not.
Doesn't look like
I
it.
haven't been on a flight since all this happened.
Neither have I, but I've seen videos of like those people, they don't wear masks and cause a ruckus and get escorted off the planes. Those planes look packed as ever.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen one that had open seats. There's always people in every seat. So I just think they do the mask thing now. You have to have a mask on the whole time you're on the plane.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I usually fly for work, and usually I'm flying every week, but I've only flown once since March, and that was in July. And middle seats were open, everything was masked the whole time. I mean, they gave you wipes to wipe everything down, and it's a little scary. It's a little uneasy when you think about what's really going through this cabin when you already have 50% recycled air. I mean, so it's but look at that. 12 of us flew, and 6 got COVID. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's my ma.
They went to Nashville.
Oh my Lord.
Because, at the beginning of pandemic,
It's,
why not go to Nashville and party with Kid Rock in his bar?
Sure, why not?
Because you come back sick for 2 months, ma.
Right. Did you get
Tennessee is for
Right,
lovers.
Bar.
I think that was the great sex she was talking about.
Oh, no.
All right.
Not.
Let's
What's
do a
the
couple
juice worth the
announcements.
squeeze?
Oh, don't. It's my ma. You don't know what you're getting into here. Destination Dino Liam comedy event is going to be postponed. We're just throwing it till next spring. I'm sick of postponing it for months. Great organization. We want to give them the best comedy show there. And we just can't get it done this year. Everybody knows why. But what is getting done is Twisted Dreams. Twisted Dreams. We will be interviewing Michael Fosty of Dead Celebrities and playing his first feature film, Exit. A handful of other cast and crew members from the festival. Lloyd Kaufman, Mr. Trauma, will be doing a screening and a Q&A live for free on October 3rd. So you get to talk to that madman, which I was actually nervous about having to interview him. He likes
still get to
show
interview him?
people. Yeah, well, I don't think he may come back, but
No.
so Chris House and Molly and myself have a new internet interview roadshow coming up called Are You Triggered Yet? So if anybody's interested in that, we'll be start filming soon. So
It's gonna be fun.
we're doing giveaways on Wednesdays. We didn't get anything done this Wednesday, but we will do it next Wednesday and maybe do a bonus episode. Check out Dead Guards Coffin Classics. Show turned out great. Going to be up on YouTube. Yeah. And we are now going to be starting the 3rd season thanks to William and Mike here. A bit of a change. We're going to be joining the Big Laugh Comedy Network, so you can find us there. They got a ton of funny crap going on. Molly's going to be, yeah. So Mark's still around. He's just limited. So I'm going to talk to him about how we're going to keep doing the Movies with Mark show. But dang, that was a lot of stuff. So Christine, you're back. William's here, taking the co-pilot seat. Mike's here, doing what he does.
I raised the roof for you, man.
You just made yourself a liar. So Christine and I were talking, and she asked me about doing a show, and I'm like, the rules on my show, it's kind of whatever, but I'm seeing everybody online just losing their mind with what's going on. So I find that she wanted to have a conversation with some smart people, and I find that stand-up comedians are usually pretty freaking sharp as people. So Christine, if you would like, I would let you to take it away here, and let's see where this goes.
Well, so I mean, we all know what's going on. We all see the stories. We all seen the videos. People getting shot, people getting killed, cities getting burnt to the ground. Like America today it's in it's in mass chaos. I
Thanks.
had the opportunity to go to Kenosha to witness one of these protests, and it was on Tuesday night, the night before the shooting, the night they burnt the city to the ground. And when we got there, I'll share my experience with you guys. When we got there, when we got down to the staging point where everybody was meeting before we started marching, they had a gentleman from BLM walking around talking to the crowd with a megaphone, explaining their purpose, explaining the point, explaining why and how. And it was one of the most amazing things I'd ever heard. They didn't talk about burning anything down. They didn't talk about rioting. They didn't talk about killing anybody or shooting anybody. They're out to make a statement. Okay. And that statement is that if white America can shut down a black life by inhumanely taking the life of one of their own, they're gonna shut your city down. They're gonna inconvenience you. This is why they block highways. They don't block highways to do it. They do it to inconvenience you, to share with you the feeling of being completely helpless in the situation in which you're in. Because if you're in the freeway and you're in a traffic jam and you're stuck, you are absolutely helpless. There's nothing you can do but sit there and wait for things to happen. And this is how they feel their lives are every single day. So this is why they march. They march so people will realize and eventually accept the fact that these people are equal, that nobody deserves to be murdered in cold blood by any police officer, and that their lives are taken at an exponential rate. And white America doesn't seem to really care about it. And that's all coming out now. Like, you just go on any internet thread about these stories and read the comments, and you will hear exactly what white America thinks of this. And it's pretty disgusting. But I can say, as we started marching, the energy was just insane. Like, I'm an empath, okay? So I feel a lot of the energy around me. I could feel the energy of situations and places and people. That energy was extremely sad. It was extremely depressing, but you could also tell that there was a hint of hope. There was a hint of, we're doing the right thing. There was a lot of bad energy down there when we got there. I could feel it instantly. And we marched peacefully for like probably 20-25 city blocks. And we wound up in front of the courthouse. And we were not there for more than 3 minutes. We got there. As we were walking up, we noticed some people throwing water bottles at the police officers that were across the street. Because this was, like I said, this was Tuesday night, so it wasn't like Wednesday when they had the fences and the cops in the big line all the way around the building. There was none out there. They had snipers on the roofs. You could see them up on the roofs of the courthouse and the buildings around there with their guns and their flashlights shining people. They had drones in the air. They had helicopters in the air. But we got down there, and as we're walking up, we see some people throwing water bottles, and then we see somebody lighting off those mortar sticks that shoot out the balls. Somebody started shooting those towards the cops. We turned around to take a picture in front of an entire line of military Humvees that was across the street from the courthouse. Before we could, we walked over, before we could turn around and look at the camera to take the picture, some white guy ran up with a glass of accelerant, threw it all over this garbage truck, and lit it on fire. As we turned around and realized this truck was on fire, and boom, this gigantic canister of tear gas went off right in front of us. And it was like a wave right in my face. Poof. And so here I am trying to escape this cloud. We jump over the concrete barrier that was in front of the line of military Humvees. And at that moment in time, as I'm running in between military vehicles, dodging tear gas and rubber bullets that are being shot at me by my government on American soil, the energy of that moment literally just stopped me dead in my tracks. Like, I'm being hunted by my government on my soil, and I had never done anything wrong. I didn't do anything. I went down there to experience an event, and I got assaulted by my government for doing it. And it was crazy to think that. And then as soon as that started, it went nuts. Like, as soon as they fired the tear gas, everything went haywire. Everything went sideways. We got separated from the group of people we were with, me and another gentleman I was with. We spent most of the time trying to find them because they cut off the internet. They cut off the cell phone, so you couldn't hardly use your phone at all for anything. They had guys with backpacks walking around with cell jammers that would actually jam your cell phone signal if you were too close to them. And they had them stationed all around this protest, shutting off the protesters' internet access. It was such a surreal feeling. I went because I felt, as an American citizen, I had to experience an event like that. I can't just sit at home and watch it on TV and expect to understand what these people are going through. And neither can anyone else. You can't make a proper judgment on anything while you sit at home and watch it on TV. You want to come to a proper judgment, get off your ass, go out to the street, go to one of these protests, listen to these people, feel their energy, live the moment, and then make your judgment. But don't make your judgment based on some bullshit you see on TV. You can't do it because you don't get the experience. It was amazing at first when we were marching. It was people walking around, helping each other, handing out bottled water to each other, handing out snacks. Everybody's checking on everybody to make sure everyone's okay. It was not a riot at all. It was a group of 3,000 people helping each other try to become equal citizens to everyone else. That's all it was. And then these white people showed up and completely sent the shit sideways. You look at these videos of all this shit that happens during these riots. Look at how many of these people that are committing these crimes and starting these fires and starting these riots are white. And then they turn around and they blame it on BLM. It was a white guy who started that garbage truck on fire in front of the courthouse Tuesday night.
Probably Antifa.
Yeah, but it gets blamed on BLM.
Well, there are other elements that are showing up at these and taking advantage of this situation to create chaos.
And give BLM a bad name. And I've seen it, I've experienced it, I've talked to these people. I had a very in-depth conversation with one of the Wisconsin BLM leaders here, and I cried because when you hear the words come from another human being's mouth, and you get lost in that moment, and you can picture what they're saying, and you can feel what they're saying. There is a horrific sadness and anger within the Black community in America today, and they've had enough. They're done. They're not messing around anymore. We brought them here 244 years ago and enslaved them, and we've treated them like second-class citizens every day since. They had an entire civil rights movement in the 60s that means absolutely nothing because they're still not equal. They're done. They're fed up. And how can white people blame them?
No,
How
but
can any
what's
white
the
person
end game?
stand up and say that this isn't right? That this is not how you go about doing it? Bullshit. You've never been oppressed a day in your life. Ever. You've never been targeted by police because of your skin color. You've never been denied a job because you're Black. You've never been forced to cut your hair to participate in a high school sport because you have Black hair. None of you have ever experienced any of this.
That's not true. You can't say what I've experienced. That's not true. I grew up in the Deep South, and I had to cut my hair for school. Everyone had to have a certain length of hair. You can't say what we've
kind of school
experienced.
did you
can
go to?
only speak a public school. You can only speak at what you've experienced. You can't make that statement about the rest
You're
of
right.
us.
Okay, so I misspoke. Most white people have never experienced any sort of actual racism or discrimination.
Well, but listen, but if there's an issue with the police, why does it always have to be a racial thing? It might have something else to do. It might have a different reason. It doesn't always have to go to race. And I think that people are quick to jump to that. And like you said, you have to be there to experience it. And you see it on TV and you say it's racial from something you saw on TV.
No, I say it's racial because I've talked to these people. I've learned their purpose. Do you know why it's racial? Because they are being held back as citizens because of their race. That's why it's racial.
Listen, I was held back because of my race. I grew up in New Orleans. I went to a predominantly Black high school and junior high school. So I know how it feels to have that type of feeling when you're in the minority.
And it's a very helpless
Don't tell me what I haven't experienced.
You're right, and it's a very helpless feeling. Am I correct?
Well, I mean, you have to try to work your way through it.
Okay, well, and they've been doing that for 244 years.
Well, working your way through it would be to, when the police give you a command, to not disobey what the police tells you to do, and you'll be okay. I mean, if the police tells you to stop, then you stop. And you can deal with the situation later. I just don't understand. No one's bringing up the point. If the police is telling these people to stop and they continue to just ignore it, what are the police supposed to do? I mean, I'm not saying that. Look, trust me. I think they have definitely. You don't shoot a guy 7 times in the back. You don't kneel on a guy's neck. We all know that that's wrong. We all believe that that's wrong. Trust me. We're there. But what I'm saying is, why are you getting in that situation? Why aren't you listening to what the police says so something like this doesn't happen?
So the issue is not whether or not they listen, because
it's a big issue.
People of all races don't listen to the cops.
Well, and they get shot.
The issue comes. No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't get shot. White people don't get shot when they're in that situation.
Yeah, they do. There's
there's videos that have popped up everywhere. Did you see the one with the guy by the pickup truck?
No,
had a gun in his hand.
I'm not going to sit and watch every little thing because
he had a gun in his hand.
He had a gun in his hand. Okay, that's one situation, but plenty of white people get shot by the police.
You're right, they do. But the question is do they get shot for reasons they should be shot for? But the thing is white people don't care if white people get shot by the police. This is why white people aren't out marching in the streets to stop the murder of other white people by the police. Do you get this? The whole argument that where are the riots? Where are the marches for this little white boy who got shot in the head by this black guy? Well, let me ask you, why are white people not marching for this?
I don't have an answer to that.
Nobody does, but everybody will sit on the internet and ask, well, where's the outrage for this? Where's the riots for this? Why aren't you getting off your ass and going out and marching for it?
I think most of that stems from just the media's slow reaction to it. I mean, you talk about getting out of your house and away from the media. I mean, you look at any sort of, reverse situation such as the 5-year-old boy, and it took the media 3 to 4 days to even report the story.
Yep.
And I think that's where the indirect outrage comes from, is that there's a high double standard out there. There's a very extreme double standard.
I won't disagree with you. The media sucks on all sides.
And look at me.
Do we lose him?
Well, I mean, look at the NBA. So, but look at the NBA. I mean, you've got black player calling a white player a bitch ass white boy. But the NBA doesn't blink an eye. The situation is reversed, and the white guy says that to the black guy. The white guy suspended. His season's done. He's not getting paid. I mean, there's a double standard that still needs to be addressed when all this kind of gets talked about.
And now you know how they felt about that same double standard that's been going on for generations of their lives. You're just getting a little taste of it now.
So
now, this is what they've gone through their whole lives. This is what their families sat around their dining room tables and discussed at night when they got together for dinner. These are the things that they talked about. Okay, and they tried to figure out how to change it and how to deal with it. And they grew up their whole lives dealing with it. Now white people have to deal with it, and it's some big thing.
Are they taking more of a Malcolm X approach than a Martin Luther King approach right now?
I think they're taking their own approach. Like, really, like, this is something America's never seen. And basically, from what I've learned and what I understand, Black America has had enough. They're done. They're done with the racism. They're done with the discrimination. They're done with the double standards. They're just done, and they're going to put an end to it.
I really don't even like the white America, Black America. I don't like even talking like that, because to me, I feel 100%. Like everyone's an American.
We're all American.
Well, just act like one. Don't be a jerk. Don't.
But we're not. We're not treated the same.
You're an American.
I think we're all done. We're all done with it.
We're not all equal, and that's the problem.
But if you keep separating it into separate groups of Black America and white America and separating it out, then when do we ever get to that point where it can be equal? You know what I mean?
Correct.
When the white power structure of this nation makes everyone equal. When the system treats everyone equally. Here's an example. A 16-year-old kid got arrested in New York for stealing a backpack. Okay? He got sent to Rikers Island before he even went to trial and got stuck in solitary confinement for 3 months before he killed himself. Okay? It's a 16-year-old black kid in Bronx, New York. He goes to Rikers and gets sent to solitary for 3 months for stealing a backpack. Here, you have a white kid who shoots 3 people, killing 2 of them, and this kid sits in a juvenile detention center for 30 days before he even gets extradited back to Wisconsin to face his charges. Do you not see the difference?
But those are
the difference in states.
The difference in the way that people are treated.
It's a different state. It's different prosecutors.
State. Exactly.
It's different.
Exactly.
And should that be addressed? Yes. And there should be, checks and balances in place so stuff like that doesn't happen. But it's not apples to apples either.
Yeah, but there's not. And why should they still have to be fighting for this now? The civil rights movement was 60.
We should try to get LeBron James on the show and see what he thinks.
I would love to have a conversation with LeBron James. Oh my God, would that be amazing?
All right.
You want to talk about oppressed and hypocrisy? LeBron James goes hand in hand with that.
So, I mean, a lot of these guys, especially the rich ones, the athletes, the rappers, the media moguls that have made tens of hundreds of millions of dollars, when they speak on that stuff, they're not speaking on it in their own personal sense. They're speaking on it on behalf of their race. He's not going out and saying he is the things he talks about. He's saying that his race is. You have to listen carefully to what he says. I've never heard LeBron James.
A lot of people don't want to hear it from him, though. Like Hollywood telling us what we should think.
Here's a guy,
you know.
Yeah.
What?
Here's a guy, LeBron James. LeBron James makes millions of dollars a year.
I know.
Now
you don't want to hear it from them. You know, you can just be like, yeah.
He's treated like a king everywhere he goes. So people don't want to hear. I understand what you're saying. He's speaking on behalf of his race, but people don't want to hear it from him.
So who do they want to hear?
Why doesn't he speak upon the Chinese slave labor kids that are making his shoes?
I don't know. Why don't the All Lives Matter people talk about the Mexican kids in cages that are getting raped by our government every day?
Well,
the All Lives Matter, except for those Mexican kids in those cages, right?
We're trying to really draw a fine line and not talk politics because our show doesn't do politics.
I thought that's how it was going to go. How did this happen?
You can't avoid it just because the word government's attached to it.
I know. We're just
where's the mattering for those kids in those cages? Where's the mattering for the Muslim people that have been held in Guantanamo Bay since 2001 that have never committed a crime, never been accused of committing a crime, and now they're stuck in prison purgatory for the rest of their lives for absolutely nothing? What about their lives?
You're all over the place. You're
all
over the place worldwide. What are you going to talk about? Every injustice that's been done all over the world. You're all over the place.
Doesn't All Lives Matter blanket that?
Well, I agree that they do, but they have to be addressed individually. I mean, you're just spitting out stuff. You're just all over the place. Well, what about China? What about what China's doing?
Well, that's what he said. That's what he said. He was talking about the Chinese slave labor, kid labor. I said nothing about that.
Why don't we talk about something a little more light?
All right.
This is getting a little.
It's fine.
Let's change the subject.
In case anybody new is listening,
it was National Dog Day a couple days ago.
We are up for best comedy podcast of the year again. So if you've been laughing your ass off to this whole conversation, please go and vote for us. For
you've been laughing off
comedy podcast. Yeah. No, if you've been laughing, don't vote for us.
There's something wrong.
All right, Christine. Thank you. I'm glad you got to have that experience, whether good or bad. You can shine a light that a lot of people don't have. So maybe vicariously somebody can understand what you went through.
And then
listen,
I think having a conversation with people to a peaceful protest and talking and seeing what their feelings are and having that dialogue is important. I think we all should do that.
Because the media is not a good place, a good source.
No, you have one side, you have the other side, and people are going to listen to whatever network they think that they agree with. And then you're really not having a dialogue, really.
We got to have dialogues. We got to have discussions.
Right.
That's easy to say. Harder to do.
In the end, America has to grow up and get over its childish ways. Because all America is a nation of 350 children running around acting like children.
I don't understand how you're calling the nation children. That's kind of a ridiculous statement.
Do you not pay attention to the internet?
Well, there are crazy people. Oh, don't even get me started.
Yeah, there's crazy people.
And the comments and how everything will automatically
crazy people everywhere.
But it's not a nation of children.
Well, they act like it.
Oh,
we're not all agreeing with all. We're not all.
I'm not saying every single one. I'm saying
you need to stop reading all these crazy comments because there are a lot of people that don't feel that way. They have a dialogue with those people. Stay off of the internet for a while, please.
Yeah, but come on to my internet show.
That's where you get the real information. Is the
Right.
internet. That's
Well-
why I'm there.
And Mike, are you having the time of your life?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope his audio froze, or he had a major stroke.
No, the video froze. His audio is fine.
Oh, his audio's fine. All right. Well, that looks like Forrest Gump in every picture when he's blinking. that's the audio I got. So on a more lighthearted note, let's move on to something kind of funny. Here's a company who's willing to pay $65 an hour, and it's called We Want a Karen. So your name doesn't have to be Karen. You just have to be Karen by nature. So you have to write an application and tell them why you are a Karen. They want you hypercritical and opinionated.
So they're trying to take that negative annotation of the Karen and turn it around.
No, they're not. They're actually amplifying it. I think it's the opposite of that.
What it sounds like.
Yeah. So you explain what description of your character, anecdote of when you were a Karen. So these are just, you're going to be like reviewing products. So I believe you get $65 an hour. They send you products, and then you go Karen all over their ass.
I just feel bad for any
Oh.
woman named Karen these days. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, I've had long-term relationships with two Karens, and I really feel badly for them because they're decent gals, man. And then now their name is this.
Well, do you feel bad for anybody named John? You're either a toilet or buying a prostitute.
Right?
You know?
What about Dick?
Yeah.
I think those are being phased out, the Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, just call me Rick, Richard. You
Harry.
know.
Karen's gonna be another one of those names that the millennials and generations after will never use again.
You think it'll die?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's gonna die with the last Karen in America. Like nobody's gonna bring it back.
It's
I
gonna
think it'll
die.
be around for a while. I think it's going to be around for a while.
I have a sister named Karen, and unfortunately, she's an actual Karen, so it kind of fits her. So
Yeah. You think it's gonna die like Raise the Roof?
I do. I think
Raise the roof while
wait,
saying
circle back.
Karen. Karen.
Combine them. I'm gonna find. There's got to be a picture of you online somewhere, or
Raising
somebody's
the roof.
of you raising the roof, and I'm gonna post that because I know you did.
let me know
This
if
one
you
now,
find it.
right there.
You thought you got rid of them all.
I'll send you my I'll send
You got to
my
bring it back.
There, I'll send you my Packer picture file. You can go through them all. I got thousands of pictures in there.
Oh. So, no, I don't want to do that story. None of these stories are as fun to lift us up.
I'm sorry. What about the Crocs guy?
The
I
Crocs
helped look
guy.
for stories because Tom wasn't feeling well, and I'm not as good.
I know, but now I have to share the screen and nothing's working for sound. But a lightning blew this British Columbia man's Crocs off, and he lived to tell the tale. So you can't tell me that he doesn't, you know. This guy has never been to jail. I guarantee it, because anybody who's ever done some time in county knows that you don't wear Crocs when you're not in jail. So this has got to be a good guy. He shouldn't have been hit by lightning.
He even said in the article that they were camo Crocs.
Oh,
You need to wear bright yellow or something so the lightning can see you.
Did he have a man bun that like amplified
No, I don't think
the
so.
electric like signal from his?
Here we go.
They show him, and he talked to a news crew, and he's saying that
Crocs saved
the
his
Crocs
life.
saved his life. The article goes on to say it was probably the fact that he was standing on his truck and
But
it
his-
grounded him.
There he is. He's already drinking.
Why do people think wearing rubber-soled shoes will save you from getting struck if you get struck by lightning?
Do you think he's actually giving a thumbs up, or do you think he's still got electricity running through his
Yeah,
body.
I think he's gonna be frozen like that for a while. He's like, the lightning came from up there.
He's very happy about his
Was it-
big rubber masturbating shoes.
One of his Crocs ended up 12 feet across the road. It got blew off his foot.
Do you miss Crocs that much to go look for him?
I think he did. They saved his life, man.
And
There's a
measure
picture of the Crocs on his truck right there.
How did they measure? Did he get a tape measure and measure?
I don't see any
1.5
Crocs in that picture.
That's because they're camo.
Camouflage.
They're
I
hiding.
don't see them. Where
Wow.
are they?
Obviously, God hates him. He'll get him. He'll get him next time.
See, I heard a story once about a girl. She was on a beach somewhere, and there was like a storm like 30 miles away, and she got struck by lightning and killed. And I remember thinking the same thing. Like, God really has to hate you to strike you with lightning from a storm 30 miles from where you are.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, shit. Well, everybody, it's been freaking real. I'm glad we had a good discussion. We didn't get too loud. We're all friends here. Mike,
Friends.
you have a good time? Would you be willing to do this again? This is the first time we've ever gone that route. I normally just do all stories.
Right.
So I threw you into the
Welcome
deep
to
end
the
there.
show.
And I'll take it by your silence that I can go fuck myself.
Still here.
All right.
What are you
Chris-
doing? What do you got going on?
Yeah, what do you
Mike?
got going on here? You got
Mike.
Mike. What do you got going on?
Oh, okay. I'm getting some bad. I'm getting some bad broken up sound here, so it's a little difficult to follow at times. I
We'll
apologize.
take care of that at the studio.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
What do you got going on? We're letting you plug your side projects again.
Side projects. So, I mean, this is actually honestly the first podcast I've ever actually been on. So, I appreciate the opportunity to come on and learn. But I've been looking at doing a podcast for a Wisconsin band that's been around for about 30 years and kind of recording their history, sort of like a storytellers MTV Unplugged thing. And kind of going back to their beginning and talking about their albums, their music, some of their, bigger songs, things like that. So it's just kind of a little passion project that I've been thinking about for the past couple of months. And I just talked to the band. They're willing to do it. So now pressure's on me. So I might actually have to get off my butt and do it. So, but that's
Well, I
kind
know
of what
where
I've
you
got-
can find a
got in the works
studio.
right now. What's that?
I said I know where you can find a studio.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Christine, you got anything going on lately? Has
yeah.
COVID just killed the...
that would be great.
It would be, huh? I know a guy who's got some stuff. Christine, COVID slow down your comedy now?
Yeah, I mean, I did it for a month. I did it for 4 weeks at the Skyline Comedy Club in Appleton here in Wisconsin. I'm taking a break. I just want to retool, working on my routine on my set, trying to get it down so I have it memorized. I hate stammering and stuttering on stage behind the microphone, so I want to get it better before I go back. So and it just kind of helps that COVID is there, so like I just took the time off. I don't want to have to not have a reason for not being there. So but yeah, I mean, I'm still working on it. I have right now my last full read through of my set, I have 1 hour and 12 minutes of comedy written, so I have a lot. It's just getting it down, getting it mastered, getting a smooth delivery, getting my timing right on the jokes, things like that. So I'm working very hard on it though. So I appreciate the concern. But eventually we're gonna get there, and it's gonna be one hell of a show.
All right. William,
Well, I have
you had fun?
I did. I had a great time.
All right, good. So I didn't scare you away.
No, of course not. I'm in 100%. World Series of Comedy. There's some online contests if you want to go there. worldseriesofcomedy.com. We're supposed to do these satellites around the country, and due to COVID, that's turned to some online stuff. We have a drive-in show coming up on the 28th of September. That was Friday's show, got rescheduled because of the weather. And so it'll be on the 28th in West Allis. And
Cool.
and then there's supposed to be the finals of this World Series of Comedy. Should happen in November if we can make it happen, where we'll all go out to Las Vegas and do it. If we, God willing, COVID's straightened out by then, otherwise there'll probably be another online contest. I mean, it's kind of really done a lot to kind of hamper our efforts to do stand-up around town, The Skyline is back open, Christine, for, if you want to go out and do the open mics. But, I think that's probably one of the last things that they're going to be able to do is, comedy clubs, because you have to get in tight, you sit close. Appleton, they're pretty good at the social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
They limit the number of people that can go in there. And I think they've been able to make it work.
Yeah, they got the table. They have the tables all separated by like 6-7 feet.
Right.
I mean, they do a really good job. They sanitize the microphone, and I mean, they do really good. The last time I was there, I did my my brand new set on about Tom Segura and Christina Pazitsky and Dr. Drew and Conan O'Brien, and that's what made me realize that I have to step back for a bit, and I have to get better at this because it didn't go very well. The jokes were funny, but the timing was off. The delivery was off. Like I didn't.
It's like going to the gym. You have to work it. You have to continually work that to get your timing right. It takes a lot of work. It does. It takes a good 10 years to be a decent stand-up.
Yeah, I do.
There are exceptions to the rule, but
I do a lot of rehearsal in my mirror. And I'm also finding out that I'm much better at comedy on the fly than I am trying to like do a written set. Like I'm much better at just going up and talking instead of trying to have to stick to a script. That's another thing that I'm learning. So, and I hope within time that the more I do my set and the more I say it, the more that I can not only deliver it smoothly, but ad lib as well to make it, a much more natural delivery. So
yeah, otherwise you're reciting it and then you're not really performing stand-up. You're just reciting.
And that's exactly what happened at my last show is I wound up reciting it instead of telling it.
And you also have to understand if at an open mic, if a lot of the audience is other comics and they're sitting there thinking about what they're going to say when they get on stage, they're not really listening too much. Unfortunately, that's the way it is.
Yeah. So, I'm working on it. I'll get back on stage here eventually, and we'll keep plugging away. I think I have a really good set. So, I'm looking forward to busting it out one of these days. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
What a lot of work.
My set's not that good because when I rehearse it in the mirror, somehow that guy punches me in the eye every time.
I know. I doing it in the
He's
mirror.
in your mirror too?
I can't do it. I can't. I get bored with that guy.
Yeah, the guy in my mirror sucks too. So, all right, everybody. Be sure to like, subscribe, go vote for us. Stick around, get ready for season 3 coming. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Christine. Molly, you've been awesome too today. So,
Thanks.
all right, everybody.
Thank you.
And remember, universe, we're not good enough for you.
Thanks for tuning in, universe.